Hey gang, so today's a sponsored video by GEEONE, and they have sent the extremely unique, interesting, curious, kind of bizarre Dolphin by Rogue. This thing, I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I'm just going to show you this before we even start. So this is $199 for the stainless steel version at GEEONE, and you can get 10% off if you use the code TheFidgetFix. I figure I get those out of the way now just because people are wondering, right? So that's what it's going to be from now on. Price, code, right off the bat. All right, well, enough talking. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's the Dolphin. Let's go. Okay, so here is the Dolphin. I mean, this is, I don't even know where to start talking about this. This is a wild slider. Now, let's get this out of the way right off the bat. This is not for everybody. In fact, I would say this is more for the collector of rare things than somebody who's just into fidgets, right? I mean, are you going to go for this instead of a slider, like a basic slider when you're first starting out? You're probably going to go for the basic slider first. And I think you probably should, but this is really aimed at the collector, the person who really wants to add something that they don't have, and probably not a lot of people will have. This is really cool kind of designing in here. I don't know if the camera, oh, there we go. A little bit, there's a little sort of tiger stripe design running through there. And the shape, now this is stainless steel. The shape to it takes some getting used to. And I'll tell you why. When I first got it, these little fins are sharp. When you first get it, they come out of the box and they feel sharp. And when you use it, they kind of, see how it's into my finger like that? So that takes some getting used to. But then I sort of realized part of, like, there's this really cool grip, right? It's got kind of like, I don't even know where I should start talking about this thing, but let's talk about the grip. It looks like a banana. It is a Dolphin, but it also looks like a banana. And it has these really kind of interesting positions on it. And you can just grip it. It does come with a lanyard hole, by the way. I didn't put a lanyard on here because I didn't want people to think it actually came with the lanyard itself. But it does come with the hole for it. And this thing is really, it's interesting. It keeps me guessing. It's got a lot of places to just hold it, almost like a worry stone. And that's kind of cool. The fins, I guess I can kind of understand they're there for, well, for one, they're just there for aesthetics, but you can also use them to push off. If you don't want to just sort of slide along the top like that, you can use the fins to push. And if you'll notice, and I'm not even consciously doing this, but my index finger is resting on the tip of the nose. And that's letting me kind of push out like this, and it keeps it firm. So my ring finger is actually wrapping around the tail. And if there's a lanyard, that's what I would be doing. And my index finger is just kind of going out to the nose. And I think that, for me, I find is the easiest way, because this has such an interesting ergonomic shape. If you don't grip it a certain way, it can kind of roll out of your finger, right? And you don't want that happening. Now, again, if there's a lanyard, that's a whole different ballgame, because you wrap it around your finger and then it's perfect. Then you're just kind of like, you're gripped around your finger and you're pushing for days. But if you don't have the lanyard, you need some way to secure it. And that's where the index finger comes in. So holding it on the tip of the nose like that, or even kind of running up the flipper, the fin. Man, this thing. So anyway, sorry, let's get focus, Sean, focus. So yeah, this definitely, this works better once you get comfortable with the grip, and once you figure out how to kind of place your fingers. Now, everybody's going to be different, obviously. It took a bit to work my fingers around the sort of the edge of the fins here. Like I said, they are kind of sharp. And if we sort of zoom in on that, we can see. So they do come to a sharp point. I'm a bit curious as to why, why that choice was made, like why so sharp, but it does dull down pretty quickly. So I find now I don't even really notice. So the setup right now is magnetic, right? So it's haptic, magnetic. It gives a pretty good click, but it's also not like super strong, which I kind of prefer. I don't want a really, really big kind of chunky move when this thing is already such a beast anyways. So the magnets on here are a little lighter, and that's actually kind of nice. So I've got the magnet slider set up. However, it comes with 2 other mechanical liners. Oh, it's a little magnet on there. So we've got the super sort of zipper sounding liner, and then the more spaced out version. And then we have the plastic track to switch this over to mechanical. And then we've got a whole like boatload of accessories. So spare balls, different sizes. We've got different sizes for the bigger slider or the zipper, the smaller zipper liner. And we've even got these glass beads here, which I'm going to be trying out. And then also springs, which I'm guessing are different strengths. I haven't opened those parts up yet, but like, talk about an accessory pack. Oh, and a friggin' pouch. Now, the rum bottle came with the pouch as well, but I thought that was a one-off. But it looks like Rogue is just like coming out with pouches for all their stuff. I mean, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But like, what a pretty good value. What a great value for $200. So let's look at the liners right now. Okay. I mean, yeah, the pouch is nice, but you want to see the slider. Okay, we're going to take this apart. This is actually a very, very simple thing to take apart. It also comes with this little screwdriver, so we're going to use that. It is a Phillips. So let's open it up. Now, nothing is going to fly out yet because this is all on a track system. So right now, all magnets. So I'm just going to slide it back. So this is a really, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this properly. So if you can see inside here, right in there, there's a magnet, but there's a stopper built into the track. So it cannot slide forward. And in this position, it doesn't even lift off very well. Once you undo the screws though, then you can kind of like slide it back a little bit. And then of course it comes off. So what we have is the rail here, right? And that's where the insert goes in. And then we're going to pull this insert out. So right now we have an insert with a magnet. And in fact, where did I put you? Where'd that go? It even comes with a spare magnet, and I'm just going to pop it on here, and wow, it just went flying around my hand. But we're good. So I'm going to keep it together with this insert. So this is the magnetic insert. Let's put it up here. Okay. So now we want to switch over. Oh, wait. We're also going to pull out these inserts, by the way, all have a little magnet underneath them to secure them to the inside of the plate here. And we've even got this little space. So you can just kind of push the little screwdriver in there and it pops right out. And then magnet. Now this is the only one that doesn't have a magnet underneath because it doesn't need it because it's got all these magnets on top, obviously. So let's put this here and I am going to just keep this together. And then I'll just put it away. Okay, so here we go. Now, I have the springs and balls that it originally came with. This is without using the accessory ones. So first thing we're going to try is let's go with the little zipper. Okay, so magnet on the back of the insert sits in here, and that's it. It is now locked into place, won't drop. Totally fine, totally safe. Now, what's important, what I like to do is just make sure that I fully understand how I need to line this up. So here, I can see that this is the hole for the spring and the balls that are going to get pushed upwards. And then here we're going to screw this in. So let's do this. And the one thing that these springs are really tricky about is they stick together. The springs wrap together. All right, so we have our 2 springs in there. So here's the trick. The balls, see, if I do this, I can't slide this on. This has to be in place here before it goes on. There's the other spring. So this actually has to be in place like this, so that when it's on here, then I can slowly push this part out to expose it. Then I screw these in, and then that way it locks into place. So the trick here is getting these screws, or sorry, the springs and the balls inside. So what we have to do is very carefully put our balls in. Then we pop in our springs. Like that. And then we pop our top on, and then you hear that? It's nice. And then from there, we would just screw it in. But I'm going to put in the other insert too, so we can kind of hear them both. So here's with this zipper one. I call it the zipper. All right. I'm going to lift that off and be very careful about how the springs move. We're going to gently, in that way the springs don't go flying up. So then I'm going to put these back, or just put them sort of like in a safe place. I've got the balls. So now, with that out, I'm going to switch out the other, or switch it out for the other insert. Now we'll put in this insert. And this one is more of like a clicky version. And again, we want to make sure it's going to go on aligned. So I have this. Now I know the position it needs to go in. So I can have it set here. And then let's get these 2 springs in there. The problem is the springs magnetize. So they want to kind of stick to each other the whole time. Or at least they feel like they're magnetized. Okay, so now we have the springs in, we have the balls in, they closed. Now we just put it on top. So this is much more of a spaced out click. And that's it. And then we will put the screws back in. And then when that first one's secured, then you can kind of like be a little more relaxed, push the head all the way to the end. There we go. Okay. So that's it, 2 screws. So I really do like that there is a like a kind of 3 different choices for feel on this. I think that's actually pretty cool. This is probably my least favorite, the bigger gap. So I'm probably going to use, I'm going to go back and put this one in when I'm done, but you guys don't need to see that. Okay, that's it, gang. So that is the Dolphin by Rogue. Again, $199 and for the stainless steel version, and then you can get 10% off using the code FidgetFix, but obviously you can use that code for any one of these. But just this particular one is $199. I think the Zerk is $299. Probably a lot lighter too. Okay, gang. Thanks for watching and for checking out this very, very interesting, unique fidget slider, the Dolphin by Rogue.